Hey, what's going on everyone? It's Jacob. In this video I want to talk to you about a pretty serious topic in terms of entrepreneurship, online business, this kind of road less traveled that a lot of us are going down. If you're watching this, chances are you either currently are or you want to and you're starting on that journey. And it can be a really lonely road. It's tough from time to time. There's going to be a lot of people, the vast majority of people aren't going to understand what you're doing, why you're doing it. It will make absolutely no sense to them. And you're going to feel at times isolated, alone, misunderstood, all of these kind of things. There's really 3 tips that I can give you in this video really quickly that I think will help. I think they'll help a lot. They're not for the passive type. They're not for the type that just wants to kind of sit there and wallow. They're for the type that are actually going to get out there and do something about it and take this seriously. So it depends on your personality type. But let's talk through those 3 things in this video, and I think it will really help you out if you're struggling with feeling kind of isolated or alone in this kind of online business journey. Before we dive into that, be sure to subscribe to the channel, click the bell icon so you get notified whenever I drop a new video. Give the video a like if you get any value from this one, if you find it helpful, and leave any questions or comments below. I'll do my best to get back to you throughout the week. Check out the Super Affiliate Accelerator if high ticket affiliate marketing is something you're interested in learning. That might be for you, and let's dive into it. So like I said, it can be a struggle, it can be a lonely road, and honestly, the more and more you progress, the more your results go up. It can get even more isolating because the people that can relate to the level that you are at get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller the further that you progress. Okay. Now, there's a couple of things that you want to do. This first one is something that I recommend everybody does, and it doesn't even just have to do with feeling kind of isolated or alone in this online business journey. It has to do with having this thing in place to be able to push through the ups and the downs, right? It's being really, really connected with why the fuck do you want to do this, okay? Like I said, it's the path less traveled. That may sound like a cliche, but it's true because it's not easy. There's going to be really, really crappy days. There's going to be awesome days. The days you have your first sale, hit that first milestone, crush the big launch, whatever your goals are, the day that you hit those is going to be amazing. But in between those, I can promise you, there's going to be shitty days. And being connected with why you really, 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 really want to do this and why you'd rather do this over something that's just super stable and wouldn't be as fun, but is going to be way less stressful and, cause less anxiety, all those kind of things. So really setting that in stone, and I would encourage that to be a deeper reason. I can't tell you what your reason should be, but with a bit of self-reflection, you can figure out a good reason as to why you want to do this. And if you can't, then you probably need to reassess actually doing it at all, because from my experience working with literally hundreds of people in this space is that the ones who have a really strong connection to the reason why they want to do it are the ones that do well. So writing that down and really anchoring that is going to be important, because when you have those days where you feel shitty and isolated and alone and misunderstood, and the people around you may not be as supportive as you want them to be, or whatever you are struggling with kind of along these lines of, the difficulties of doing this thing, that will pull you through, or that will at least help pull you through, okay? So that's the first thing. The next 2 relate to surrounding yourself with the right people, okay? And there's 2 types of communities, or at least 2 types of people that you want on your team in your corner is probably the best analogy. There's 2 types of people you want. There's 2 types of communities you want to be part of. There's 2 types of human resources that you want to be able to at least have some kind of access to plug into. That will really help. And this will help from a growth perspective, from a strategic perspective, from a financial perspective, from all of those other perspectives as well. But they will really also help with this issue of, online business can be quite an isolating and alone or a lonely kind of experience. Okay. The first one is being a part of communities that have people who are on the same or a similar journey to you and are at a similar point. Okay, now there's a reason there's a third, because I don't want you just getting stuck in these types of communities. You want to be surrounded by people who are at a similar point to you and can really empathize with your struggles, and you can bounce ideas off, and you can develop accountability partnerships, and you can chat through issues that you're all facing, because chances are, if you're going through it, someone else has gone through it at some point, and it's not unique to you, right? The vast majority of these bigger issues most people go through at some point. I had a 3 or 4 month period last year where I was just like out on the couch, and I was just in a really shitty way. I kind of lost direction with what I wanted to do and all these kind of things. And it's never as rosy as the industry points it out to be. So I'm just being 100% real here with you. And you've got to find strategies to work through these. Okay, so at first, being part of communities with people who are at a similar point in their journey as you, right? That's critical. So that's the second point. And they could be free communities, they could be paid communities, depending on the resources that you've got available. Typically, paid communities are going to be more beneficial because the people there have got some skin in the game, they're taking it more seriously, they're more motivated. They'll be tighter knit communities. Those people are going to show up more frequently. They might show up to weekly calls, whatever. Typically, a paid community is going to be a better place to do that, but I appreciate not everyone has the resources to do that. So find the community that fits your situation, but try surround yourself with a good group of people, be it online or in the real world, if such a thing exists near you for this type of business, so that you've got a group of people to lean on when you have a shitty day, when you have a shitty week, when you have a shitty month. Okay, that's the first one. The second thing, though, or the third overall tip, but an addition to that, is you don't want to only surround yourself with people who are at your current level, right? Because what happens in that case is it's like a ship without a captain. You end up with a lot of people who are stuck at a similar point with similar issues, who don't have the strategies to overcome them, and they all kind of start going in circles a bit. So in addition, and this could be the same group, or this could be a different group, or it could be a direct mentor or whatever, but being either part of a community or having access to a mentor who has gone through and gone down the path that you are trying to go down, okay? So that when crappy stuff happens, you've got either a group with a person like that or persons like that, or you've got direct access to them. Again, this is going to take some resources, especially this one. So maybe this is something you have to build up to, but I would recommend integrating it. I've been working with a guy since late last year, and personally for me, there's been some pretty tough stuff over the last few months, and having someone to reach out to about not necessarily the personal stuff, but the business impact of that personal stuff is really, really powerful, and it really helps you just to chat, just to get through that thing that might have popped into your head or you might have been struggling with or whatever. And there's obviously massive incremental value in doing that with someone who's likely been down that path, either personally or from a business perspective, okay? So it can be a lonely road, it can be a tough road. There's gonna be good days, there's gonna be bad days. If you've watched my channel at all, you know I don't sugarcoat the fact that this industry isn't as perfectly rosy as a lot of the marketers make it out to be. It's a real business. You've got to learn stuff. You've got to put in the work. It's not going to be this perfect linear progression. You know, it's awesome. It's amazing. Don't get me wrong, but it has its struggles. And so I'm here to try and arm you with things to overcome those struggles when you inevitably face them. Okay, and this is one of them. There's going to be times where you feel isolated, alone, misunderstood in this path that you're taking. And those 3 things will really, really help you out. Getting back in touch with why you want to do this, or getting in touch with it at all if you haven't even thought about that. Being surrounded by a community of people who are on a similar level to you. Ideally a paid community, because those people are going to be more committed, more motivated. And it'll be a more filtered community, more tight-knit, more energy. You know, we have people in our Super Affiliate Accelerator community who, like, I might be asleep here in Australia, so a lot of stuff happens overnight in the European market and in the American market, and people put up a post saying, look, I'm really struggling with XYZ on this journey, and I'll wake up and I'll go into the group and I'll see this post like 2 hours ago, and there'll be like 40 replies from community members offering support, offering a hand, saying message me if you need anything, saying I've been through this, here's some tips, right? So the value in that is ridiculous, right? And there's probably people watching this saying, you know, Jacob, I don't need any of that stuff, I just need the strategy. That's fine. You can come back and watch this video when it happens to you and you realize that it's a critical part of the journey. And then I can give my 2 cents as well, as someone who's further progressed than the majority of people that are helping her out, who can still deliver value, they can still help, just being there to kind of pat that person on the back, he or she, pat them on the back. But then I can also give them more experienced perspective because of the path that I've been down over the last however many years, and having experienced a lot of these things and worked through a lot of these things myself. So they're the 3 tips, right? Take them and do with them what you're going to. If you're struggling with this at the moment, hopefully that might help you find a way out of it. If you haven't faced this, not to be a doomsdayer, but it'll probably come at some point. So keep those in your back pocket, or be proactive about it and try get involved in a community that can help you out, so that you have that in place if and when it happens. I hope it doesn't, but the vast majority of people I speak to in this space have struggled with kind of the isolation feeling at some point or another. It's real, right? I had a mate over here yesterday who runs his own business and has transitioned out of the corporate world, and he said the same. You know, it's a different path. So you got to expect that there's going to be these certain types of things that pop up, and you've got to have strategies to deal with them. So hopefully you found that helpful. If you want to be part of an awesome community, check out the Super Affiliate Accelerator. That may be for you, that may not be for you. Regardless, find one that is. I don't care if it's mine, I don't care if it's any other community, right? I just want people to be armed with the right support mechanisms to get over what can be a really tough period. Because I've been through it, and those are the things that help me out, okay? So that's up to you to go and do something with that information. Find a community that fits you, be it the Super Affiliate Accelerator group or be it any group out there. I don't really mind what group it is, but just arm yourself with the tools, because it can happen, and you want to be proactive rather than reactive always, okay? That's basically it for this one. Hopefully you found those 3 things helpful. Take heed, it'll really help you out, and be sure to subscribe to the channel. I'll talk to you all in the next video. Cheers.